You don't love a person, you love a product. After finding out the truth, I cannot go back to dating. I cannot. I do not believe in the concept of a soulmate. The love a human being has for another, it's pretty much impossible for them to love the full package. What you love is a product, and more specifically, fragments of the package. Think about reasons why you might have a crush on someone or someone in the past that you had a crush on. You might say, oh, I like their personality. I like their demeanor. I like their mannerisms. I like their appearance. But you don't get the full package. And even if you get into a relationship, you still will never get the full package. That's how it works. This is the reason why conflict arises. If both people involved could get the full package, then they know the ins and outs of that other person. They would know about their hidden wiring that they don't really show to others, or even things that they simply cannot show to others. And in that case, whether or not they'd be still in a relationship, who knows? If they choose to be in a relationship, great, I guess. But my point is, getting to that stage where you get the full package, it's not possible. It's not possible to know the ins and outs of a human being. You might claim to love their personality, but how do you even know that's how they're really like? You don't. The way people are, just their mannerisms, the way they speak, the way they act, it can be dependent based on who they're talking to. I don't talk to my siblings in the same way I talk to random strangers. And I'm sure the same could be said about you. I'm sure that you talk to people differently depending on who it is. And the part about relationships is that there's this need to have it last. So I feel like that puts pressure on both parties to do specific things, not do specific things. Basically, it makes them a bit more cautious. And this actually mainly applies to the dude. Dudes do not want to lose their girls, because for a lot of dudes, that's their badge of honor. So it creates this situation where they can't really communicate about specific things that they need to communicate about. And that's simply because they don't want to create a big enough conflict to have this relationship end. That's why if you use Reddit, you see so many subreddits where people are just complaining about their partners. Wow, my partner doesn't do dishes. Wow, my partner did this. Wow, I don't know if my partner's cheating or not. And then people might be like, well, that's what communication is for. But you can't just solve things even if you communicate. Because maybe if you do communicate, they're going to realize, wait, I'm not really into this person. And many people just cannot bring themselves to communicate. They always feel a need to maintain their curated personalities. They want to maintain what's already set in stone. And that's because people want to avoid conflict. They want to pretend like it's all fine. And if you're someone in a relationship and you're like, well, mine's is nothing like that. Mine's is perfectly healthy. I don't care how good a relationship seems on paper. The truth is, as long as you'll never get that full packaging, then the relationship is always fragile. What you claim to love, what you're so in love with, again, it's fragments of that package. And it's not even a question of would you still love the person if you got the full package. The whole point is that you can't get the full package. And this right here is why I don't care about love and dating. Now, not to sound narcissistic, but I believe I'm a very complex person. I mean, I think we all are. But me in particular, I'm not going to say I'm more complex than the average person, but I'd say I like to think deeper, I like to self-reflect, I like to just think about various topics about this world, this life. But the way I see it, that's more of a personal journey. I always thought, if a girl came around that actually matched my wavelength, then, I guess I could go for it. But that's not how it works. No girl can match my wavelength because of the way I'm wired. I'm not wired in a way that makes it easy for people to understand me. I'm not wired in a way that makes it easy for people to just be on the same wavelength as me. I do not enjoy shallow connections at all. Basically, I'll put it like this. It's like there's World War III happening in my brain, like an entire war happening inside of my brain. Now, I'm not saying that I'm depressed. I just said World War III because it's basically just constant thinking, constant self-reflection, constant analyzing, constant spiraling too, to be honest. So my rejection to dating and connections, it's not out of bitterness. I just think that there's no point because people can't grasp the full scale of what's happening in my head. And even if they're just as self-reflective and introspective as I am, I wouldn't know. So to me, I just can't see myself trying to date. I can't see myself doing that. And one of the main reasons I made this video topic is because I've been getting a few comments saying, yo, what do you think about women? Are they a waste of time? My position does not stem from hating on women, saying they're a waste of time. I'm not a red pill dude, first of all. And it's so odd how people expect me to be that red pill dude that's bitter about women just because I dislike existence itself. I've never even brought up women on my channel. I never even talked about women, really. But obviously, people that hold the same beliefs as I do regarding life being trash, a lot of them also are dudes that are bitter about not having a girlfriend. The way they assume that I'm a part of their club, and same with Life Outrage, they believe that he's a part of their club. It's like, why? We're not a part of your club, man. I don't care about the whole complaining about women, red pill stuff at all. Like, that's just not me. But the reason why people associate me with that is because society basically says, whoever complains about this messed up game called life, whoever complains about this existence, it's bitterness. Society taught us to basically assume that it's out of bitterness and circumstances. Like, they're basically saying, oh, you don't have a high enough score in this game, this made up game called life, so that's why you're complaining. No, I'm not complaining about my score. I'm complaining about the fact that there's even a scoreboard to begin with. And even if I never even bring up women, I'm just somehow put into the same club as these people. It just shows how absurd humanity is. But anyways, I probably got a little bit off topic, but it is what it is. The wild part about my story is that it took me 22 years to realize that love is not for me. The entire time before that, I was craving it. I wanted to experience it. Obviously, I was setting myself up for disappointment, but it can be helped. When every single movie, TV show, anime, video game, whatever, books, music, when they mostly have the theme of love, it basically is a form of programming by the system to basically say, you need love or your life sucks. Meanwhile, in reality, all of these movies, TV shows, books that talk about love, they use the theme of love to be relatable, obviously, so they can make money. And on a bigger scale, on a more macro scale, it's all about money if you really think about it. Dating apps, weddings, marriages, taking your partner out to a date to a fancy restaurant, and then you guys would have kids, and then, just money, money, money. And more importantly, you can't even really find someone in this society if you don't have money. There's a lot of people that are insecure about not making enough money, and they believe that girls don't want them because of that. And it's actually true. The fact that people have a preference on someone, not based on personality, but rather based on how much money they make, or even if they do like someone's personality, if they don't make X amounts of money, then it's not going to happen. And here's the thing, I kind of understand why that is. It's because people want to be able to live a comfortable life, and you need money to do that. So if a woman doesn't want to date a man that makes $20,000 a year, I get it. But here's the thing about me though, personally. The fact that money is even involved just makes me want to stay away from it even more. I don't care about what the reason is. It's just the fact that we claim that love is this natural thing, but yet it's tied to numbers on a screen, digits, how much money someone makes. And again, I understand why that is, but I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. In my ideal world, money should not be involved, but in this world it is. The system basically tie love to economics. That's why I'm not gonna do it. That's why I don't even bother. Now let's get to the second portion of this video. I want to talk about dating on a more micro level. Dating is absurd. And it's unbelievable how in this society, you basically need to use dating apps. Well, at least most people, they need to use dating apps because, let's be real, no one's going to be walking up to someone just randomly and being like, yo, you're pretty. Can I get your phone number type stuff? No one does that anymore. This is not 1970. So, to me, this is soul crushing. Why should anyone have to use an app, a dehumanizing app, just to find a connection, just to find love? That's how far we've fallen as a society. That's how pathetic this society is. You gotta use apps, put up a bunch of pictures, and these women, these people, heck, women or men, they judge you instantly based off of photos that don't even actually say anything about you. Now think about me. If you guys are a subscriber, if you guys know, enough about me, if you guys know my worldview, my viewpoints, imagine me making a dating app profile. Imagine me putting up a bunch of pictures and just playing that miserable game. They wouldn't know about the awareness. All they see is a bunch of pictures. And when they swipe right, it's exclusively because of the most shallow aspect about who I am. My appearance. That's it. That's the most surface level trait of a human being that pretty much speaks nothing about who that person is. And that's soul crushing to me. People might argue, oh, well, they're gonna find your personality out if you talk to them. I don't care about that. Just the fact that it has to pass through a surface level, shallow filter, that's soul crushing. That's not it. It's like, oh, you're a pretty cool person. You're a very thought-provoking person. You're a very self-aware person. You're a very intelligent person. But none of that matters unless the shell that your mind dwells in. None of it matters if that shell doesn't suit my taste. Why would I play a game where my existence is basically boiled down to a shell that speaks nothing about me? Yeah, I'm not gonna play that ridiculous game. And it's not even just a test of your appearance that you have to pass first. Again, it's other things like money, living situation, because some people, they don't want to date people that live with their parents. And I'm like, no. And people that are so bitter about not having a girlfriend, I feel like these people just need to wake up and just see the reality. If they woke up and just saw how dehumanizing it is, how much of a scam this is, I'm not saying they would give up. Because, if they're still a part of the system's game, then it doesn't really bother them. But at least it might take some stress off of you. In my opinion, people should not be in a mindset where they're constantly bitter and salty about being single. They should accept that. Instead of letting it affect you, just accept it. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. Let me use an analogy to basically explain what I mean. So in this game called life, there's the main storyline, which is you, your growth, your thoughts, your development as a human being, psychologically, physically, whatever, what you build, the things you desire, just everything that revolves around you. Love and dating, those are optional side quests. And in a real video game, your performance in a side quest doesn't really affect the main storyline. So why should we let the dating and love part, why should we let that side quest affect our lives? Like, people will just be depressed and lock themselves up in their rooms, crying for months on end because, I don't know, some girl didn't like them. But it's like, why? Why would you do that? Not only was the side quest optional to begin with, it's not even supposed to affect the main story. Who cares about that person that didn't like you? Who cares about that person that cheated on you? Like, how have we become so dependent on other human beings that we become an utter mess if they're not there or if something happens? Maybe this is just me not understanding how most people work, but if I was in a situation where someone cheated on me or just some conflict to that level happened, it's like, cool, we're done, that's fine. I mean, my storyline is still going on. This person right here, they were just a side quest. I'm still going to be able to make videos, I'm still going to be able to go skating. I'm still going to be able to listen to my favorite music. I'm still going to be able to make money. I'm still going to be able to enjoy nature. I don't need other people. I'm not the type of person to be highly dependent on other people for my happiness. Just stop letting this side quest affect your main storyline, man. Just stop. It's like our priorities have just been so twisted. Yo, anyways, going back to the whole dating app stuff, you have dudes online talking about how can I improve in my pictures, what kind of pictures should I take? I'm not getting any swipes. And I just ask myself this, man. Is this really what you guys want? Do you guys not see how stupid it is that pictures are even involved, or a bio, and then people are going to be like, well, here's how to improve your profile. Here's what kind of pictures to take. Terrible advice. The advice you should be giving is stop using dating apps. Stop it. It's the most shallow way of meeting people I've ever seen. You're marketing yourself for love. It's not about who you are. It's about whether your profile or photos meet expectations, meet the standards. I don't even care about the whole concept of love to begin with, but now we live in a society where you can't even attempt to get love without passing through these filters. People used to meet people by accident, whether it be at malls, parks, movie theaters, I don't know. People used to go out and actually talk to people. And as I was saying at the beginning of this video, the earlier parts, it doesn't even make it more real exactly because it still has the same flaws I mentioned previously. But the dating app stuff, the whole internet stuff, it made it so much more fake. Like even before the whole dating app and internet stuff, you're still only loving fragments of a person, but now it's like you're loving a fragment of a fragment. It's so absurd that it's laughable.